What is the rule of law? The rule of law is essential for a just and well-functioning society. It is the mechanism supporting the equality of all persons before the law, which in the eyes of law, people are equal, regardless of their status. It refers to a system in which all individuals and government are subject to the same rule. Without the rule of law, various negative consequences can occur, including a lack of order, arbitrary exercise of power, human rights abuse, inequality and discrimination, loss of public trust, and difficulty in resolving disputes. To prevent these negative consequences, building and upholding the rule of law is essential for the society.
Okay, so where does the rule of law derive from? The rule of law is traced back in the ancient Greece. The philosophers who came up with this rule of law are Plato and Aristotle. Yet, it gained significant prominence during the rule of King John. Being known for his tyrannical rule, heavy taxation, and harsh treatment of his subjects, the Magna Carta was established in the year 1215 in response to the king's abuse of power. Magna Carta set the rules in writing that the monarchs and politicians agree to subject themselves to the same rules as their citizens. Moving on, as discussed, the rule of law is the principle that holds all people and organizations accountable to the same set of laws. Therefore, it does really matter for every society to uphold the rule of law, and there are actually many reasons behind this. First, the rule of law provides the essential legal framework that defines, upholds, and enforces our basic human rights, like the right to life, freedom, and property. This means individuals can count on their rights being protected from arbitrary violations. Next, when we talk about equality and fairness, the rule of law emphasizes that everyone, regardless of their social status, wealth, or influence, is treated equally under the law. This ensures that laws and legal decisions are applied without bias, contributing to a fair and just society. Not only that, the rule of law and accountability go hand in hand. In simple terms, it sets up the rules and principles that make sure people and institutions, especially those in positions of power, are held accountable for their actions and decisions. Lastly, when it comes to economic development, a strong legal system and the rule of law are very important since they create a favorable environment for business and economic growth. These elements not only attract investment and safeguard property rights, but also build trust and confidence in the legal system, which is very important for long-term economic development and prosperity.
Here are the case studies in Thailand. Thailand Army Chief declared a coup saying that the military's plan is to restore the political system. The coup follows a political crisis that began in 2013 over opposition to the amnesty bill and the influence of Thaksin Shinawatra. The army suspended the constitution, shut down all the television stations, and imposed curfew. They fully took control over the country and further declared themselves as the peace-maintaining committee. This further caused the countries to be deeply divided. This resulted as the 13th coup in Thai history. On 7th May 2014, Ms. Yingluck was ruled to be removed as Prime Minister, and on 21st August of the same year, the House elected General Prayut as a Prime Minister. This situation creates a challenge in upholding the rule of law. As democracies are built upon the fundamental concept of free and fair elections, when the military overthrew the elected government, this fundamental idea was compromised. The freedom of the press, speech, and assemblies were limited. These restrictions violated the basic rights of individuals, which constitute the foundation of the rule of law. And now, you might wonder who has a duty to uphold the rule of law. Upholding the rule of law is not only the responsibility of judges or lawyers or those engaged in the legal profession, it extends to everyone, as everyone has an obligation to understand the basic rules and regulations governing the society to live together peacefully. First is the government. They're responsible for developing and implementing the law. It is essential that they are fair when creating and implementing regulations in order to ensure that everyone is treated equally. Next is the judiciary. They play a crucial role in interpreting and applying the law to arbitrate dispute. How they are trained to interpret and understand the law is dominant. They must be fair and non-biased. For legal professionals, they must adhere to the ethical guidelines and professional conduct standard. They shall place the interest of the parties above their own and ensure that they act in the best possible manner to serve justice. Lastly, us as citizens, while we are not directly responsible for upholding the law, citizens have a duty to respect and abide by the law. They are required to follow the rules and fulfill their duties. It is imperative that everyone perform their duties and respect each other in order to live peacefully together.
How to uphold the rule of law? Upholding the rule of law is essential for maintaining justice and stable society. To do so, it requires the participation of citizens, legal professions, and government institutions. There are several principles. Here are some. First, transparency. It refers to the law that is clear and understandable to the public. Second, independent judiciary. It means there must be no inappropriate interference with the judicial system. Third, equality before the law explains that the law is applied equally to all and no one is above the law. And access to justice. It is important for individuals to have ability to access to the legal system. The absence of accessibility undermines the ability of people to be heard. Legal ethics are also the key mechanism to uphold the rule of law. The legal ethics provide guidelines to ensure that those professionals act in an ethical manner and serve the best interests for clients and legal systems. Upholding the rule of law requires professionalism and respect for the legal system. Legal ethics encourage lawyers to maintain high professional standards, thereby contributing to the credibility and effectiveness of the legal system.